Hi friends, so this is going to be the GG series, the Great God series, part 1. This shall be the introductory portion in which we'll talk about what exactly God is, and I don't lay claims to, being the only one to have found him, but this is my take on it. So God, in the deepest of my heart, feels like the great spark of joy, the ever new joy. It does not ever get stale. And I made some notes here which I'll be glancing through from time to time. Joy as different from happiness. Happiness is on a much lower scale because it has an opposite, sadness to it. But joy, bliss has got no opposite. So when you get that spark of joy, deep bliss in your heart, in your very being, you have contacted God. This is it. It is not something that you look up to heavens. God is there sitting in your heart. And this is the indication, the first and foremost indication that you've got in touch with him, that he is in touch with you. I mean, we are small beings. We do not have the power to get in touch with him. It is an honor. It's his grace that he contacts us and he gets in touch with us. So that feeling in your heart, in your very being, of a great thrill, of great joy flowing in your veins, is what God is. And of course, in separate videos, we will talk of the tools by which we can get to this place of great joy. So this joy, which is different from happiness, is ever new. Like I said, you move in the world is old. The tree, the road, the houses, the city, everything is the same, but it brings a certain newness. The trees are more green, the sky is more blue, the city is more alive, because that joy sits in you, because that joy has made contact with you, which makes everything so very new. So one foremost quality of this joy is that it is ever new. It does not become stale, and it brings a newness in your eyes through the lens through which you see the world. The world has not changed, it is just the same, but your perception, your sight has changed, and insight has come into you, which makes everything brand new. Oh, how thrilling, because then life is not boring, it is awesome. You feel enthusiastic in meeting the day, day after day after day, because it brings that newness into it. That, of course, is God, the Almighty. And I have jotted down few indications, few indications which are sure shot to let you know that God has contacted you, or that his grace is upon you. One is that you feel absolutely light, as if you are floating. You carry on to your day-to-day chores in such a smooth, butter-like manner, as if you are floating, as if you are in a bubble, and that bubble is created by the joy. You are encased in a bubble, nothing touches you, and you go through the motions of life very joyfully, very enthusiastically, very optimistically, but with a great feeling of lightness. There is no heaviness involved, none whatsoever. The moment you feel you're going through life with a certain heaviness, you have lost touch with God. Light, feeling of lightness. You float. Number 2, joyful, like I said earlier. Joy is God, ever new joy is God. You also feel very loveful. Now these are the side effects of, getting in touch with God, or God's grace falling upon you. You feel absolutely loveful. There is great love in your heart. And we'll talk of what is the outcome of getting in touch with God. And one of them is that the blockages get removed. We'll talk in detail in a separate video. But the harbinger of that removal of blockages, that great love descends in your heart. You feel your heart chakra opening, your heart in fact opening. And another side effect of this opening of your heart, of feeling very loveful towards all beings and even things, everything that is in the world, whether it is Jad or Chetan, where matter or being, you are loveful towards all. And another side effect of this is that you start feeling very creative, or creativity which was sort of suppressed in your heart, in your being, comes out like a fountain, of a great refreshing fountain. And you start pursuing extreme creative hobbies or things. For example, you dance impromptu, in an impromptu manner, you sing spontaneously, you draw, paint, you become an artist in yourself. And so whatever creative spark is there in you gets burst through your being when you get in touch with God. This is one of the indications also that contact with the great Almighty has been made. You start feeling very creative. And another side effect, as I call it, is that worries just leave your consciousness. Worries just don't touch you, they just evaporate. All kinds of worries, they just evaporate, because you are vibrating at such a high level. You are so cool, calm, joyful that nothing seems like an obstacle. Even if something comes up before you, you would handle it in a very light-hearted manner and go through it and move through it. Such is the power of the joy. Instead of referring to as God, I would refer to as the great joy. It makes you move mountains and all kinds of obstacles, big and small, without feeling them as obstacles. They just evaporate. Another thing that I've noticed is that we start feeling very, very connected to everything around us. This is a myth that being spiritual or getting in touch with God would, make you retreat into Himalayan caves and you start meditating. Of course, that's a very important step, which nowadays one has to meditate in marketplace, as they say. But without getting entangled into in the ritualistic tools, I would say that you start feeling very, very connected with the world. You become, of course you're in the world, but you become totally alert, totally aware of what's going on around you. You're absolutely bang on alert to what's happening around you, be it your work, be it your neighbors or your community or the marketplace or your city or town, country, world. You are absolutely aware. It just creates those synapses in your, it lightens up the synapses in your brain, which makes you feel very connected with the whole globe as such. So feeling connectedness. And most importantly, it fills in the gaps. Whatever gap you have psychologically, emotionally, mentally, getting filled up sequentially, step by step. All your blockages will not go away in a moment, but as the contact deepens, as the joy increases, as the fountain of joy increases in your being, you realize day by day, week by week, that your blockages are melting away. Whatever limitations you had, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, are just being washed away like fresh ocean waves coming and sweeping it away. This is the miracle of Gigi, the great God, and the great joy that He is. He just he just removes all these things which are blocking you to achieve your full potential, and you can feel it. These are concrete things that you can feel. I was about to quote my example, maybe one day in a separate video I will, but it starts, your blockages start melting away, and on deep psychological level, which makes you all the more lighter, and it then reinforces your faith in the Gigi, the great being, who is light itself, the great light which pours on you, and the light which is suppressed in your being also reflects that light. It starts shining, and you just glow and you float throughout the day, and you're absolutely blissful and joyful. So we'll have another video shortly. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.